A title sequence, also called an opening sequence or intro, is the method by which films or television programs present their title and key production and cast members, utilizing conceptual visuals and sound. It typically includes, or begins, the text of the opening credits and helps establish the setting and tone of the program. It may consist of live action, animation, music, still images, and/or graphics. In some films, the title sequence is preceded by a cold opening. Or maybe it's more than that. A title sequence, also called an opening sequence or intro, is the method of which films, television programs, and people present themselves. There are many ways for people to have intro sequences. Speech, language, dreams, Twitter bios, all equally important, apart from the last one. Point being, intro sequences are more than just a video that plays before a show. It's integral to one's identity. It's essential to who we are. Intro sequences are important, and they always will be. Wouldn't you agree, Jack?
So, are you done?
Yes.
Welcome back to Film Torch with me. This episode is going to be a little bit different as I won't be reviewing or talking about how important today's topic is. Instead, I will be doing a tier list because it's fun, I guess. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, and you know what? You're right, but consider the following. I don't care. On this episode of Film Torch with me, I will be looking at 9 different intros and putting them into tier lists, because I couldn't think of anything else to do for this episode. A Cartoon Network classic. The Amazing World of Gumball is one of my many childhood shows, and a memorable one at that. It was probably the most creative show on the channel when it aired, in terms of its animation, episode plots, and large cast of characters. More than that though, the tone was amazing. The show felt like the writers just kinda did whatever they wanted, and 9 times out of 10, it would work. If anything, the show felt like a complete drug trip, and the intro showed just that. The intro presents everything it needs to. The main characters, their characteristics through some interesting animation, and nearly every single side character from Gumball's high school, simultaneously showing their animation styles. This honestly feels like nothing but a way for the animation team to flex their amount of different animation styles, and I have so much respect for that. It presents the tone and feel of the show really well, it's visually interesting, and most of all, it f***ing bops. And for that, I give The Amazing World of Gumball's intro A tier status. Hi there, I'm Jack, I'm 18, I'm British, and I love watching The Office and going on adventures. The Office holds a special place in many people's hearts. Not mine though. I've watched the first 4 seasons of the show, but to be honest, I've never really been able to get into it. Purely because of Michael. I don't react well to cringe, leave me alone. These 20-minute episodes turn into 5-minute YouTube clips, because instead of laughing at all the dumb shit he does, I just kinda skip past it. So that explains why I don't like the show that much. I just kind of skip half of it. Regardless, the intro itself is pretty nice. It opens with some establishing shots of Scranton and the office, then cuts inside to show the people working in said office, the main characters we follow. While I don't feel like the cinematography is anything special, I love the music. It begins with some light piano on the opening shots, then builds up with more instruments as we cut inside. As we see more and more of the antics in the office, the music straight up turns into a freaking rock song. This isn't exactly something I would jam to in the car or anything, but it sounds really good and fits the show's tone, raising it from a pretty basic intro to a pretty good intro. It gets a B. Beyblade, Beyblade, let it rip! Let's fight an epic battle! Face off and spin the metal! No time for fuck! I hold a lot of nostalgia for Beyblade Metal Fusion. To an 8-year-old Jack and shit, it was a show where cool circles would spin really fast and knock out other cool circles, but like, that was amazing to me. For some reason, the show was only on at like 6 in the morning, so I basically missed out on half of the show, if not more. However, that didn't stop me from getting absolutely addicted to to Beyblade Metal Fusion and Beyblades in general. He knows what's up. And through those said few episodes, I started one of the funnest obsessions I had as a kid. Kicking my brother's asses with my Rock Leone. Turning a pretty okay anime at best to probably one of the biggest nostalgia trips I could ever revisit, alongside the Wiggles and Wally on the Nintendo Wii. Now, let me get this out of the way before I even continue. I got 3rd place in a Beyblade competition in the Manchester Trafford Centre. I had my Rock Leone, it was badass as hell. I also never base these reviews or analyses off of nostalgia, and I always try and keep my biases in check. The only time I will ever talk about nostalgia is if I explicitly say so in the video. So, know that I'm being genuine when I say, the Beyblade Metal Fusion intro f***ing slaps. And I don't mean just in music, I mean in visuals too. The visuals in this intro look so f***ing cool. I know it's just clips from the show, but the way they all flow together looks kick-ass and fits the fast pace of the music. It's so fast and fun and perfectly fits the show, I think. I haven't watched Beyblade in a while, actually. So, B tier for Beyblade. Still a kick-ass intro. These edibles ain't shit. Now this is an incredible animated show. Futurama is a damn blessing, and my favourite show from creator Matt Groening. The series follows Fry, a pizza delivery boy who gets frozen for 1,000 years and falls up in the year 3000, awakens to find not New York, but New New York. There are so many amazing things I could talk about for hours on end, but considering this is a video on show openings and not the shows themselves, I should probably shut the fuck up and talk about the intro. What can I say about the intro? F***ing yes! Let's go through the list, shall we? Amazing animation, check. Amazing pacing, check. Amazing music, check. Something always neat to look out for, like the title at the start of the episode and the old animation on the TV at the end, check. All of those points not only work well on their own, but when they work in tandem with each other and fit the show's style, tone, and overall narrative, then you have a great intro. This is an S tier piece of damn perfection.
Are the crystal gems, we'll always save the day. And if you think we can, we'll always find a way. That's why the people of this world believe in garnets, amethyst, and pearl, and Steven!
I mean, it's okay. I'll be honest, I'm not too fond of this one. Let me quickly state my issues. For one, I'm not a big fan of the visuals. Not just the animation itself, but the shots chosen as well. Like, this shot of the crystal gems running. This, to me at least, looks really fucking boring. And this text showing all the characters' names looks so unbelievably out of place. Another thing I don't like is the theme song. Do I think it fits the show itself? Kinda? I mean, I can see this working, but as a song I can vibe to? Not really. Now yes, I know for the Futurama intro, I said the best part was that the theme song fit the show, but it's also just one hell of a bop. I have no shame in admitting that I would jam to this if it popped onto my playlist. But Steven Universe's intro isn't exactly a song I can listen to on my walk to the bus stop. It may just be my personal preference, but honestly I don't know if it properly fits the show either way. If only the intro itself was just faster and more interesting. Wait a minute.
Are the crystal gems,
Okay, well, that's better. I'm giving the season 1 intro a C and the season 2 intro a B. Sonic X. That's it. The mere mention of the show itself says enough. The intro should not exist because the show should not exist. I don't even know what the execs were thinking and I am very confused. Or maybe Sonic X is really good, I don't know. I got recommended this intro but haven't watched the actual show for good reason, I assume. Am I anything but a random kid that doesn't care about his own craft? Should I have watched the show? Do you feel empty when an old lady gets hit by a car because you weren't there to help them across the street? Probably. I just saw the intro and got too confused, so I'm giving it its own tier of what the f***. Can we go to the next intro now? Another one of my friends said I should talk about this one, and asked alongside that to be acknowledged. Hello Charlotte, You have now been acknowledged. Now, let's talk about this intro. The Simpsons. This is where I try and say something about the show, but I mean, it's The Simpsons. What the fuck am I supposed to say about it that hasn't already been said? The first 9 seasons are seen as some of the best episodes on TV to ever air, period. And from the few episodes I have watched from that era, it's incredibly easy to understand why. Some of the most funny, heartfelt, and iconic characters of our lifetime came from the show alone. And with such an iconic show, comes an iconic intro. I remember getting back from primary school, playing games, and then sometimes my brothers and I would be allowed to eat our dinner in the living room. We'd watch a few different things. Total Wipeout, You've Been Framed, and sometimes The Funny Yellow Family. Despite the fact I can barely remember the episodes I watched, I can remember the intro as if the damn thing was playing right in front of me. The way the animation flows together, the way it presents the family of The Simpsons, and the straight-up iconic theme tune goes perfectly side by side with what The Simpsons was and sometimes what it can be, making it memorable to so many people, even those who don't really watch the show. Again, it's The Simpsons. What else is there to say? The only real issue I have with the intro is the length. This f***ing thing goes on for a whole minute, more depending on the couch gag. And it doesn't have many changes to look out for. Sure, there's the chalkboard, but to be honest, the messages on there don't usually mean all too much unless they are paying tribute to a celebrity or just an important person. Other times there are just random jokes that, I mean, they can be funny. For an intro this good, I'd honestly say that the length is worth it. Until the episode can't fit the whole thing in and they have to cut 3/4 of it. This isn't that big of a complaint since I think everything about the full length intro is perfect, and so many shows, especially ones with intros that I love, do this all the time, but this amazing intro just isn't the same if most of the time it's cut down to just Homer running away from a f***ing car. Regardless, a pretty great intro. A tier. Oh shit! This right here? Oh my god, you guys are gonna fucking hate me for how much I'm gonna nerd out here. Bojack Horseman is a show that I got to pretty late. I started watching it around April, so way after I released the first episode of this show, meaning it obviously wasn't going to be on my top 5 list. Holy shit, did I make a mistake of not watching this sooner. I don't know if I would rate this my number 1 show, but I'd probably put it at number 2 or 3 depending on the day. Regardless, this show is a god tier masterpiece. The characters, the writing, the humor, the voice acting, the emotions, the everything is so damn good. Sorry, this isn't a Bojack Horseman nerd video. That will come another time. One of my favorite things about Bojack Horseman is its incredible intro, so let's talk about that. Every intro starts off with Bojack Horseman, our title character, waking up and going through his morning routine. We then transition to a supermarket, or a film set, or another film set. These locations all have some importance with the season. Kinda. The only one I can think of that doesn't have all too much importance is the previously stated supermarket, but even then it's a place where Bojack gets a lot of flack from in the first season. Trying to keep things spoiler free here, but once you watch episodes 2 and 3, you'll understand everything. We then cut to a party where a drunk Bojack falls off his balcony and into a pool. Now, this may seem like a pretty basic setup for an intro, but for those of you who have watched the entire show, you know how oddly metaphorical the whole thing is, especially the last scene. It's honestly amazing how much the intro foreshadowed events in the show, even going as far as looking at the series finale. However, you don't need to watch the full show to have a good time with this intro, because there are so many more positives than foreshadowing and symbolism. For one, the theme song. This theme is a straight up banger. The first few seconds alone are just... I'm at a loss for words, and then that fucking sax comes in! I have no shame in admitting that I have the full extended version of the theme song on my playlist, and that when it comes on, I will occasionally jam to it. It's just that good. Okay, so the theme is great, but 56 seconds is a while for an intro, and I just criticized The Simpsons for having theirs be a minute long, so why aren't I criticizing Bojack for it? Well, in Season 1, Episode 3, a character burns Bojack's ottoman. In the next episode's intro, that ottoman is now burned. In Season 2, Episode 2, we're introduced to a character named Wanda, who then appears around Bojack's house. Case in point, Things change in the intro as they change in Bojack's life. It's an incredible attention to detail and keeps the intro fresh, enough to keep me from pressing that skip intro button for 77 episodes. I'd go far enough to say that this is the best intro ever, period. I'd love to continue, but there's a video by Johnny Tucellos that talks about every little change in the intro for 20 whole minutes. It's a great video, so go and watch that instead of listening to me. Bojack Horseman gets an S from me. So, after all that, here's the final list. Out of all the intros we've looked at today, Futurama and Bojack Horseman have the two best intros. Alongside that, the shows themselves are incredible, and if you haven't already, you should give them a watch. Yeah, you know, I don't actually really know how to end this. That's kind of it for the episode. Hey, Elias? Can you end the episode now? Elias? Elias!
Jesus, what the fuck do you want?
End the episode!
No, piss off.
End the f***ing episode!
No, you fuck bitch.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit? I'll have you know I graduated top of my class in media for TV and film, and I've been involved in numerous secret raids on the Netflix offices, and I've cancelled many shows, including Q-Force!
Wait, what the fuck is Q-Force?